Hi, good morning, everyone. So, today we are shooting the second episode of Solar Talks, and with us is Mr. Waqas Moosa, a very well known name in Pakistan, and he belongs to Hadron Solar. Good morning, Mr. Waqas. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you, Azrum. Appreciate the nice introduction.
How are you? How's everything?
Great, great. Especially since this is the first full week after the Ramadan break. Eid Mubarak to everybody who's on, and
Eid Mubarak.
yeah, all of us are kind of looking forward to be back in action as much as
That's
we can
great.
be, given the current circumstances.
That's great. That's great to hear. So everything there in Lahore is normal now, or how's the situation?
I wouldn't say normal, but this is the new normal nowadays. We're getting used to living with this, sort of like social distance kind of environment, taking precautions where we can. But slowly and steadily, things are returning towards some kind of normalcy. We've had almost 2 months of 1 month of complete lockdown and 1 month of partial lockdown. But things are improving overall, so we're feeling confident, and we're hopeful that June will be a good month for us. Today is the 1st of June.
That's good. Alhamdulillah, things are getting better. So, Mr. Waqas, tell us something about Hydron. How did this everything started? How did Hydron came up in Pakistan, and now it's one of the well-known names in the industry?
I mean, Hadron Solar, we started off. It's been now almost 4 or 5 years. 2000, I think. I mean, it initially started off with the idea of doing something related to this industry in Pakistan. The industry it's the future. Everybody says that, but there are a lot of things that need to happen for it to become the future, and obviously it takes time. So we were looking at it. Our real objective was to sort of provide the solutions, and the technologies are changing. It's an industry which is up and coming. So we went for the solutions side, and that's where we focused on as Hadron Solar. The name Hadron Solar is derived from you might have heard about the subatomic hadron collider. It's not really directly something to do with solar, but it's a technical name, and we found it to be interesting. And most importantly, it's unique because everybody has names of solar technologies or something like this. So we decided to sort of come up with a slightly more unique name. Somewhere we can get the .com URL from the very beginning. So we got this, and now we're quite sticking with it. In terms of our work, we're focused on 3 areas. We do agriculture. In fact, that's the main area we started working in initially. So in agriculture, the feasibility was very upfront. The competition was lower, so we started with that. We have good number of projects in that sector. Then slowly we added the residential segment into our mix. And for the past 2-3 years, we've also added the commercial or the corporate segment into the mix. So now we have these three lines which we work on: the agriculture, the residential, and the commercial. We have about I think 3 megawatt plus installed capacity, about almost 120, 130 projects which we've installed across the country.
And they are like
And
located in every part of the
yeah,
country.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're ourselves. Our head office is located in Punjab, Lahore, but we have a lot of projects in Karachi as well. We have a few in Balochistan, a couple of them in KP, and we're trying to expand. I mean, we're hopeful that we now have branches in 4 cities. So we have the head office in Lahore. The second big office is Karachi. Then we have a big office. We have one of our biggest projects is in Faisalabad, so we have an office in Faisalabad, and we have an office in Islamabad. And hopefully by end of next year, we should be present with our own offices in at least 10 different cities in Pakistan. So we should be able to cover pretty much the whole country, inshallah. There's a lot of growth and there's a lot of opportunity.
Yeah, that's good to hear that. So, like, as of like when we were in 2019, like we had a lot of discussions, like face to face. We met also in Lahore. I remember we had a discussion in your office, and then we had a meeting here in Dubai as well. But now things are like changing a lot. It's like more going into the digital side. The face-to-face meetings are now very less, and as well as people are not going onto the sites as well. So how's the new change? How is Hydron? How's Hydron handling these things? How are you doing the business, the sales, and everything in Pakistan right now?
So this is something which I mean, it's a trend which is coming in for sure, and it's I would say that it's a trend which was already there, but in the last 2 months it has accelerated significantly. If you look at our business, I mean specifically with the lockdown, we've had a lot more. Even before the official lockdown, which was launched by the government, from our side, we'd already taken some precautions and sort of rolled out some policies in the company where we encourage work from home. So what we did is that we took the sales teams and the design engineering teams, and we gave them flexibility to work from home. The sales teams could, I mean, I don't want to call it work from home, it's more like remote working where they can work remotely. So client visits, if needed, would still be conducted. If there is a meeting which needs to be physically attended or a site needs to be attended, that can still be done. Of course, subject to whatever is the local regulations at that time. But the office is no longer, you don't have to come to office every day. It's not like there's somebody waiting for you in the office. You can manage your workflow from around as needed. Obviously, the installation team cannot work remotely. You cannot install solar at somebody's place remotely. Yeah, you have to go there. So the installation team is there. But the installation team is usually working on rooftops, which is the main focus which we have, or insulated in any case, and then they can continue to work as needed. The sales guys, we gave them some trainings on online marketing and how to deal with customers on online basis. The sales team tries to determine if the customer is interested, and we try our best to do that initially by phone calls and at best one meeting. So now that one meeting can also happen using WhatsApp call or using Skype call or using Zoom meeting in certain cases. So wherever possible, we're trying to continue our sales efforts, because that's obviously very important for us in terms of business. And I hope this will continue, because previously we used to have this feeling from clients, especially when we looked at our residential customers or even to some extent to our corporate customers. They had this feeling that, why don't you come and have a look at the roof? Mm-hmm. And we try to tell them that the roof is the last. I mean, we will look at the roof for sure. Obviously, that's exactly. Yeah. But that's going to be at the time of confirmation. Right now, if you could just send me 3 things. Number 1, please send me your last electricity bill, which already has the consumption of the past 12 months. If you can send us GPS location, and we will do an initial sizing of the roof just by looking at the Google Earth images, which are quite good. And third, if possible, if you can send us a few pictures of your rooftop, so that kind of clarifies a few things which might not otherwise be clear from Google Earth, because it's a top-down view. So that helps, and with that, that's enough information for us to make an initial proposal.
That's nice. That's nice to hear that. So, Mr. Waqas, tell us something about the projects that you did with Fronius. I remember the one you did, Misak Mall, is one of the iconic projects. And tell us something about the projects that you did, Fronius.
Yeah, this one. I mean, this is one of our as you said, iconic projects for us. It's our biggest project which we installed. It's a commercial mall. It's in Faisalabad. They were reluctant about solar in the beginning, or they had a unique position because their spacing was such that the number of panels were not fitting, or it was not a lot of fit. So we did some analysis for them, and we created a design where we were able to maximize the number of panels installed and give them a good size of capacity on their roof. And also what we helped them with, and we recommended for them the Fronius Inverters, because on this project we wanted to promote the long life, and we used 27 kilowatt 27 kilowatt Fronius Eco model, and we used 8 of those for it's a 250 kilowatt project, so we used 8 of those, 8 of the inverters. And the idea was that we have different areas on the roof, so we have with 8 inverters we are able to provide one, we have redundancy. I mean, if you want to switch off or switch on certain parts of the system as needed, or if there is some issue, we can operate them independently as well. But there was three different zones, and each one had a different consumption, and initially there was no net metering, so it took some time for them all to get up. But also it allowed us to have 8 trackers in a way. So in that system you have 8 trackers, so you can accommodate different patterns of shading. And what we did is also we took the panels which had a certain kind of shading and we put them under one tracker, and those which were in a different area we put them on a different tracker to try to make the system as efficient as possible. So that was a good project. Nowadays there's another interesting project we're working on. This one, I mean, it's been delayed because of the lockdown. This one is a 600 kilowatt project, but it's going to be done in 3 phases. So it's going to be 200, 200, 200. It's a factory in Karachi. Here we are actually recommending to them that we will also use the Toro, the new upcoming 50 kilowatt, and most likely the 50 kilowatt models in the one with the 3 trackers as well as the one with 1 tracker, depending on their different. This one is in Karachi. This one is in Karachi. This one is in Karachi.
Okay.
Yeah, this is in Karachi. So whenever you're there, we'll definitely set up a meeting. So this is a project in the industrial area in Karachi. It's on a plastics factory, and again, this is a project where space was a bit limited. Generally speaking, with factories, they have huge loads, and always one of the problems, the challenges they face is the space. So here we also used Jinko Solar panels, and the panels were the Jinko Solar panels were for the monoperk half cell type, 400 watts, and we created an elevated structure for this. On the structure, so it's all elevated about 8 feet on their rooftop, and and then there's some gaps in between for cleaning. So if as needed, the maintenance person can come up and clean the panels as needed. And it's now been operational for about. Luckily, this is the last project we were finishing at the lockdown. So the last step of the project, our guys were stuck in Karachi. We sent some of them from Lahore, and 23rd March, I think they announced the lockdown, and the guys finally they made it back. Alhamdulillah. I don't know what it is, but.
So how was your experience so far with Fronius, and what do you think? What projects did you did with Fronius before? What are your plans? As I would like to tell, because you're an FSP with Fronius, so there is something about Fronius.
In terms of our experience with Fronius, it's been wonderful. We have been working with Fronius almost for now more than 5-6 years. I would say that even before the company was started, it's something which so our engineering team, one of our project engineers was involved in one of the first projects where Fronius was installed in Pakistan. We had the Tymo 5.0, 6 of those, so 30 kilowatts installation at one of our sites, where this was where I was able to first see Fronius. Because in the beginning, when we started working on the residential sector, we were seeing a lot of Chinese brands, but we wanted something which is better, which is more reliable, which is something which can give a longer time. Then we discovered something called a smart meter, and then we ordered those. And I remember the first shipment we just DHL. We just got 2 of them through DHL, and then we got them after a couple of weeks, and then we installed those. So this whole experience has been very nice, and it has allowed us to pass on the benefits to our customers, and sort of show them how their system works and what's happening, and you can see it. You can see the results of the solar panels at your home. We actively monitor systems performances. So there is somebody sitting there looking at weekly, bi-weekly, monthly data. And using this monitoring softwares and tools, and we actually call customers and we tell them, sir, it looks like your panels have not been washed for some time, because the systems which are nearby to your house, they are performing at a better level versus the yield which we are getting out from your area. So these kind of things are helpful, and it helps us to sort of sell the product better. Another thing which is good about Fronius is that in terms of from the European brands, Fronius is the only one which has focused on Pakistan as a market from the very beginning. So right from the beginning, we've been able to get support whenever needed. Installing an inverter is not like bringing a phone and just opening the box and you just start it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a commissioning process. There is a lot of things you need to sync with the system of the client, how things are working, what kind of wires are going here and there. So that's something which we feel that Fronius has been good with throughout, and that's one of the reasons why I feel that the experience has been good.
That's great. I would just like to tell you, regarding you just told us about that you're informing people about that, their system should have generated this much kilowatt, but rather it's generating this much. We in Fronius, we would be bringing something in SolarWeb in which it will actually give you a forecast of how much your system should have generated, comparing what is your actual generation is. And we will be using the data from the weather stations available locally in that particular area. So the data would be quite authentic. So that would be another thing that would be something great to show it to your clients in future. That this is your forecasted energy and this is the one is your generated by the system. So if there's
that
a
would
big
be great.
difference,
That would be great. Yes. Another thing which I really like about the Fronius is the weather station. It's a very, when you look at the weather station by other brands, they're bulky and expensive, and it's like you can only put it into big systems. The Fronius weather station is a very compact kind of thing with sensors, and you can put it into a smaller system as well. Regardless, it's a great thing to have. I think it's using AI to sort of you can preventively cater to a problem. If the customer discovers after a month that the production was not very good, that month is gone. There's nothing you can do about it. But if we can predict it quickly and solve the problem on time,
then he can slowly look into it. Actually, this will also create awareness in the people to actually see how they what is their consumption trend is, because what I have seen is that most of the people in different parts of the world, they don't actually see how much are they actually consuming.
Yes, and that's. I love the smart meter in this area, and I've seen. When we talk with other dealers in Pakistan or other people who install solar, in our packages or when we sell a solution, the smart meter is usually a default item. And if the customer wants to save, then we let them take it out if they want. But as a preference, we add it in as a default. Whereas the customer, a lot of the others, they don't use it a lot. But we love it because it's because of this exact reason.
So, Mr. Waqas, if tell us that if somebody wants to contact you, how to get in touch with you? Like, what is the procedure? You're in Lahore, you have office in Karachi. Like, how does it work? How does Hadron?
Generally, we have the info at Hadron Solar email address. So you can email us at info@hadronsolar.com. You can visit our Facebook page, drop a message there, send us a tweet, and then somebody will get back to you. We have a customer support center phone number, so there's a generic mobile number that you can call on that as well. Or visit our website, so we have multiple options. And then depending on once we get the email at info, we will direct the customer to the relevant sales office as needed, or if there is any technical query to our technical team.
And we're trying to also doing educational seminars as well, I believe, right? With PV Sol and PV trainings.
Yes, we do try to do that as well. We have, with PV Sol, we're the distributors for PV Sol in Pakistan.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Waqas. It was lovely speaking to you today, and we wish Hadron best of luck for the future, and we hope that we all get out of this pandemic as soon as possible, and the things get back to normal, and we start working back like how we were doing it before. So it was nice. Yeah, so we'll stay in touch. Yeah, have a nice week ahead. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much. Same to you. Bye bye.